Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Josh.
And I'm Erin.
And today we're talking about building a bourbon collection for only $100.
Welcome to the channel, bringing a real-world perspective to the real-world whiskey consumer.
Today we are talking about building a bourbon collection for only $100. And this has inspired me being a watch nerd from the watch space.
Yep.
And it's a big thing, especially in podcasts and YouTube watch channels, to say, how many watches would I buy for X amount of dollars? Yeah. And the fun thing about these, rather than your standard list, is that I think even as nerds, you can kind of get plugged in, and we want these Tuesday topical videos to be the beginning of a conversation. So we're going to tell you what we would spend $100 on, but we would love to hear from you as to what you would buy if you could spend $100.
Absolutely.
Here's the rules. You can only buy $100 worth of bourbon. You can't break it, and it has to include sales tax. You got to be able to walk in, drop a crispy Benjamin on the counter, and walk out with whatever you've got. And these are the only bourbons you can ever drink for the rest of forever. So be selective with your $100 and let us know what you would pick. For us, this one was pretty easy. Yeah. And we're going to do this.
We were in alignment on these.
Yeah. We're going to do this as a recurring series, as so many watch outlets do as well. And we're going to stair step our way up in $100 or a few $100 increments. But for the $100 increment, this was really easy. We wanted to make sure we had something on the lower proof side of the equation, something a little bit more flavorful, and then something that we kind of was like the Goldilocks, right? Like the right in the middle that we could mix if we wanted to,
good
fairly
mixer,
inexpensive.
But good standalone.
Exactly. So let's get into it. First up, Evan Williams 1783.
This is our low proof option.
And as you can see,
we like it.
We like it all right.
It's all right.
So yeah, 90 proof, supposedly has 6 to 8 year bourbon in it from the Heaven Hill Distillery. Really, really great classic bourbon flavor profile. You get your caramels, your vanillas, your oaks, and there's a little bit of fruity sweetness in there too. Yep. Sometimes this comes across almost like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for us. We just really like it. And in our market, it's $13, $12.99 at our store. But in some markets, this is up to $20. It really is hard to beat this one. Next up, we're going to get into a little bit higher proof. Yep. And it's got to be Early Times Bottled in Bond. Yep. 100 proof. This one is the new Sazerac owned bottling. And this product has a lot of speculation behind what's going on with it as far as the change from Brown-Forman ownership to Sazerac ownership. All signs point towards this being the same distillate, the same whiskey. Maybe Barton 1792 is blending it now instead of Brown-Forman. You're going to get a little bit of batch variation, but these new bottles have beat the old bottles of Brown-Forman
for us,
Early Times for us in blind tastings every single time we've done them. And then we actually had this in a blind flight night with our patron community, where we had, I think, 13 or 14 different people trying this against the old Brown-Forman, and this one for pretty much everyone.
Almost everyone. Yeah.
And for almost everyone, this also beat E.H. Taylor's small batch. Yeah. So really fantastic bottle of whiskey.
This is a good sip by itself, mix it with cocktails, bourbon. What's the price point on this one?
$25 in our market. Yep. Okay. And both readily available in our market as well. The obvious stand-in here, if you don't have Early Times, would probably be Wild Turkey 101. But for us, Early Times takes the cake to round out that 100 proof point. Yep. And then last up, if you watch the channel at all,
you won't be shocked.
You knew this was coming. It's got to be Rare Breed. It's always been Rare Breed.
It is our old faithful.
Rare Breed has our hearts. Yes. 116.8 proof, barrel proof. This is so rich and decadent and dessert-like for us.
But not super sweet, because I don't like super sweet.
It's like a tempered sweetness. Yeah. There's some cinnamon pop to it. We get a little leather on it from time to time. You say it's like it reminds you of an old library a lot of times.
Many leather-bound books.
Yeah, but there's a common thread here in that the sweetness profile of all these is really nice, but not overly sweet.
Right.
We've got our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches here. We've got this is very dark and decadent, but also fruity and bright in some ways. And then this is just rich and robust.
This is just sophistication to me.
Yeah.
It smells like a sophisticated man wearing a cardigan, smoking a pipe or something.
Yeah. And this in our market is $52.99. So if you add up the price on all of these, it's $91. And our sales tax being 9% will get you out the door under $100. So mission accomplished on our end. I didn't break the rules this time.
Boom. Josh did not break the rules. There are no honorable mentions.
Yes.
We actually...
I did throw Wild Turkey when I went in there, kind of.
That's only as a replacement for this.
Right.
So.
It's kind of an honorable mention, though.
We followed the rules.
But I didn't want to use that because we already had Rare Breed. Suffice to say, I would not personally love being limited to 3 bottles of bourbon for the rest of forever. But if I had to be, I wouldn't be mad at this lineup.
I would do this because I'm more of a rye guy, so this would be my perfect bourbon collection.
Right. These check all the boxes. But again, this is just the beginning of the conversation, and we want to hear from you. If you were limited to $100, what would be your choices in bourbon?
So that's it for the main topic today. Let's get into some other stuff.
Other stuff this week.
What do we have?
We're going to the podcast sphere, but you can find them on YouTube as well.
Okay.
Football's coming. I know you're excited. I love me some football, college and pro. I tend to keep up with pro media outlets more, but huge college football fan as well. And today we're going to talk about the Around the NFL podcast YouTube channel. Okay. All of the links will be in the description below. If you like your ESPNs or you like commentary, or maybe you don't like ESPN, this is NFL.com's media branch, and the 3 hosts of the show, formerly 4 hosts, one who passed away from cancer, which was super sad.
Yeah.
But the 3 hosts of the show, Dan Hanzus, Mark Sessler, and Greg Rosenthal, they are hilarious. They're really good friends, and so it really makes for an entertaining listen. And they kind of have like this dry wit about them, and there's a lot of inside jokes that you do have to get plugged in over time. But I've been listening to this podcast, I think, for the better part of 7 or 8 years now.
Oh, wow.
And I love these guys.
You're faithful.
I am. And they have a really good perspective. They get some inside info. I mean, they are with NFL.com. I think they might be the biggest NFL podcast out there.
Oh, wow.
Check them out if you haven't already. It's a fantastic way to keep up with all the teams during the season. Hopefully your team's doing all right. We're Titans fans here, or at least I am.
You are.
You'll go to games with me, but
I'm not anti.
You're not so much on watching at home.
No, correct.
And I like to watch at home because I like to see everything. I'm trying to watch the line play and what the guards and tackles do. But if you want to get plugged in on a good NFL outlet, check out Around the NFL.
I think that's it for this week. Thanks for watching.
Be good to each other. And if you want to do some good, find our email address down in the description below as well. We have a charity fundraiser coming up on October the 9th. Yep. We would love to have you be a part of that. Commenting, helping spread the word, donating, winning some cool bottles, all kinds of stuff is going to be going on over there. Last year, we raised $15,000 for mental health, and all that money went straight to To Right Love on Her Arms, a fantastic charity organization that provides hope and direct help for people in need. So if you want to be part of it this year, hit us up down there. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.